One day, they hear Sumi screaming happily because she got a temporary job. Sumi starts to train herself, staying up late practicing her violin. The next day, she prepares for her new job and goes to repair the violin. She asks the repairman to be patient with her, and she will pay him in installments from her job. Unusually, he agrees. Sumi forgets her phone, which Chan gave her as a gift, on the chair. The phone rings and Kong answers. He finds a message informing him that Sumi was rejected before she started working and needs to inform her. However, Kong forgets and goes to work. While there, he remembers he forgot to inform Sumi and feels sad for her. He calls her and she thinks he's coming to pick her up. He doesn't know how to tell her but gathers his strength and tells her in the worst way possible that she was rejected from her job. Sumi bursts into tears but thanks him afterward for being concerned about her. She tells him he seems cold and rude, but he has a kind heart. The next day, she goes with him to have her dog checked, and she sees someone resembling her uncle in the street. She starts to run after him but almost gets hit by cars. Kong comes and saves her, and he remembers the accident scene from 13 years ago. After saving her, she leaves him and runs to find her uncle, but finds he has disappeared. She leaves, unable to reach her uncle because of him, and asks him to leave her alone. He leaves, and he decides to leave the house and stay a few days in the office to avoid interacting with Sumi, especially since he feels guilty for her not being able to reach her uncle. Chan tries to stop him, but to no avail. At that time, Sumi is searching in the place where she saw her uncle and asking everyone there. She puts up posters she drew everywhere until she sees the person she saw before. But when she sees him up close, she realizes he's not her uncle. This makes her feel guilty toward Kong because she scolded him for no reason. Meanwhile, the office phone rings, and Sumi answers. Kong is responsible for the decorations of the musical event she wants to organize. When the client talks to Sumi, she feels that Sumi understands exactly what she wants to say, unlike anyone else. However, she doesn't have time to know her name because she has a meeting. Kong arrives and finds Sumi in the office. And she tells him she's there to apologize for what she said. She tells him she continued searching and found that the person she saw when she was with him in the car wasn't her uncle. Kong tells her she's not obligated to apologize to him or bring him food to the office again. Later, Sumi goes to the violin repairman, and he tells her he will repair the violin and let her pay in installments. Afterwards, Sumi tries to reconcile with Kong and bring him back to the house. She goes to him and tells him she will leave the house so he can return, but he ignores her as usual, and leaves. When he goes to the office, he finds Chan there and invites him to eat. He also convinces him to return to the house. The next day, Kong returns. She gives him a simple gift, a window opener to fix the broken window. Kong is happy and impressed by Sumi's childish yet beautiful way. Sumi decides to look for any job to gather money to repair her violin. She contracts with a restaurant to cut their vegetables. Tim and his friends help her so she can finish the work faster. Sumi continues searching, looking for additional work. Kong sees her by chance and thinks she entered a nightclub. He goes in and causes a scene with the security, questioning how they can employ a child like Sumi. They're confused about who he is and what child he's talking about. In the end, he's thrown out, and he finds Sumi outside. She was in a restaurant next to the club. When she learns what happened, she's happy that Kong was worried about her. She tells him he seems strange and mysterious, but inside, he's a kind person. Later, Sumi meets Chan's friend at the house. When Sumi asks who she is, she says she's Chan's girlfriend, but Chan denies it and becomes very upset. Then, his friends. Chan helps Sumi with her new job, but Ran becomes jealous of Chan's kind treatment towards Sumi. In a fit of jealousy, Ran spills juice on Sumi. Chan, upset by her behavior, tells them he will buy new clothes for Sumi. However, the next day, Ran brings Sumi many new clothes and tells her she should stop wearing them so that Chan won't buy her anything. Later, Sumi finds a job involving cleaning a specific house. She decides to go and clean it. Upon arriving, she notices a shield with the name Dr. Tai on it. This reminds her of Tai, who used to encourage her to continue with music. She recalls how much she admired him and wishes to see him again. After finishing her work, she leaves. On her way home, Sumi looks at the moon through her fingers, just as her mother had taught her. At that moment, Kong walks down the street and sees her doing this. He remembers that his schoolmate used to do the same thing and recalls every detail of the day of Sumi's accident. He decides to visit his doctor and tells him everything that has happened. He mentions that he has been frequently remembering the day of the accident, which has been causing him great distress. The doctor tells him that having Sumi around is what's triggering these memories and advises him not to think too much about it and to try to avoid interacting with Sumi for a while as she activates old memories for him. Kong agrees to this advice. However, when he arrives at the office, he learns that Sumi will be working with them as his office manager hired her. This means he will see her every day. He asks her what her role will be as she has no connection to design. The secretary informs him that she will be responsible for organizing the upcoming music concert, for which their office is handling the design and decoration. She also mentions that she learned from Chan that Sumi has been playing music for 13 years and is the best person to determine what is suitable for the concert. Kong reluctantly accepts this reality, but tries to avoid talking to Sumi to prevent triggering memories of the accident again. During this time, Chan grows closer to Sumi, always trying to help her with anything and enjoying being near her. Continues to avoid talking to Sumi. When he does, Sumi notices this and asks him why he is treating her this way and if she has done something to upset him. He doesn't respond and leaves the office. The secretary announces that they need to go to the music classes now, as they are about to start. She asks about Kong and Sumi tells her he left. This bothers the secretary, who asks Sumi to look for him. Sumi searches for him and eventually finds him in an antique shop. However, the shop is very crowded and she can't reach him. She asks the security guard to call him, but he doesn't. The security guard calls Kong over the intercom and he hears her and comes to her. They then head to the concert venue together and prepare everything before the concert starts. Sumi works very hard. Afterward, they attend the concert, and Sumi cries because she imagined herself as Ran, the musician. After the concert, Ran goes to greet her. When she learns that her name is Sumi, she is surprised because she has heard that name before during a training session. She wonders if this is the same Sumi she met before or just a coincidence. Meanwhile, Chan is at home. Kong notices that Sumi's hand is injured. He asks her how it happened, and she tells him she got hurt while working. She asks him to not worry, but he leaves to buy medicine. Unfortunately, all the pharmacies are closed. He returns home feeling upset and worried about her. At that moment, Kong reflects on Sumi and realizes he is attracted to her and feels love for her. This is the first time he has felt this way since Sumi's accident 13 years ago, and he can't believe these feelings still exist. After a while, he goes to the garden and finds Sumi sitting next to a tree. He asks her what she's doing, and she tells him that this tree is the one she planted with her father when she was 10 years old. Now, the tree has grown, and she shows him another tree nearby with her height written on it. They sit together, and Kong feels happy for the first time in years. Meanwhile, Chan wants to prove himself to confess his feelings to Sumi, whom he is sure he likes. He thinks about how to prove himself to her. The next day, when he goes to work, everyone notices that Kong has changed and is interacting with them more. A client arrives and asks Sumi to come with him to his restaurant to help with the concert arrangements there. In reality, he is doing this because he likes her. Sumi does like him. But when Kong finds out she went to the restaurant, he follows them because he is worried about her. He stays with them but drinks a lot. After they finish their work, Sumi leaves. But she hears Kong running in the street behind her. He is very drunk, and his behavior is strange until he reaches a basketball court and lies down on the ground. Sumi picks him up and places him in a wooden cart, pulling him all the way home because she can't leave him.